Okay, guys, so today I wanted to go ahead and do a little bit of commentary on the Freebet Blackjack over here. So I'm starting off splitting some aces and all that and doing some pretty basic stuff. Now, I do like doing the Freebet over here, mainly because I do find myself saving a lot more chips playing the Freebet than I do just doing the standard one deck Blackjack. And that's because when you double the 9s, double the 10s, and double the 11s, it's actually a free bet. So you still get so you get your bet back after you win, and then twice what that bet was worth. So it really does increase your margin of victory right there quite a bit too when it goes off. So when it goes off, it goes off, and it doesn't, it doesn't. As a result, you want to go ahead and change up your strategy quite a bit there too. Like you find yourself hitting on more 13s and doing some slightly weirder plays too. As you can see, I'm already ahead, a good 300,000, and we're gonna see a lot of swings in this game here. If you guys held on for the full 45 minutes, I tried to play until I busted. I tried to play for a full hour and get it to the point where I busted, but it was a pretty decent game. So I didn't end up. I don't think I actually ended up busting in the session. I just can't remember if I did or not. So I remember having to close this ad over here that I do remember, and then going on through. So let's have a look here. And now here's the thing: you always got to split your pairs in free bet because they're always free there. So it provides another opportunity for you to get a good hand here. Now, regardless, we probably weren't going to win that one anyway since it was a 20 versus everything, but it was pushing 3 bets instead of losing 2 bets, so that's not too bad, all things considered. And that was a rough one. I think I dropped it back down here. A strategy I like to use if I do start losing, or if I lose a bigger bet, I'll go ahead and cut the bet back down and work my way back up there. Helps minimize the losses instead of increasing the losses there. All right, so we hold on those. Never split the 20s, and always you wanna play carefully. So still playing according to strategy. 16s I really hate because there's nothing else to do but hit on them. So that's what we get there. But as you can see, I lost that free bet, but it didn't really matter because I just got the free bet token there. So if you win a free bet, you get everything. If you lose a free bet, well, it's a free bet. Who cares? Now this one I had to think about for a minute because it's a 12 on a 12. You definitely want to hit into another 2 over there. That or I got a phone call. I can't remember which I was doing, but it was definitely a hand to hit there. So we hit that one. So glad I did because I meant I won something today, which is good. All right, and then we just got a strong hand here, and it was a good time. I feel like I was going to increase the bet, but I think we held it. So we did the 20s here, we held on to that, and then we just increased the 8 there. And still kind of rough, but ended up, I think this next one we actually end up winning here because we doubled there and actually hit again to see if we could get something stronger there, and we actually got a card too. Now, the good thing about playing the free bet here is you do get the cards. It helps get the cards a little faster. There's no actual difference in how often they appear, but the benefits are pretty good. Same as getting cards at any other one, but I'm at the end of it, and the increased win margin in addition to the cards popping up as frequently as they do, I feel like free bet is the best place to collect the cards, honestly. So, all right, so we'll go ahead and double again, and then that's where they busted again, and that's where we were making our big money back. So we already made back 200,000 off of that. This was a rough hand, but they got a rough hand too, so it was kind of a wash. Ended up just betting again. I'll usually just bet again if it's kind of a wash. If I'm losing more than I should be, I'll cut it down, but if I'm winning, I'll usually increase the bet or I'll double the bet just to keep it going. And you'll notice that the loyalty points are filling up, the meter's filling up a lot faster the more I bet, though. It doesn't do it on the doubles, on the free bet doubles, but it does do it on other normal doubles. So anytime you bet or anytime you make a solid play, that's when they increase the loyalty point meter too. So all right, that was a normal double, and then the 8, I think I did double on that one. I don't think I should have. I got the loyalty points anyway. I make some really boneheaded plays in this game, so you don't have to play exactly like I do. This is more of an example. This is just kind of an outline of what I do. I also drink water in case you guys didn't know. Stuck on this insurance here. I don't think, yeah, they didn't get it this time. There's 19, and then we split the 9s, and then that's one that people usually stand on an 18. Always split the 9s if you can, because then you have a higher probability of getting 2 19s, which is better than 1 18 traditionally. It may not win it for you, but it increases your odds because, you know, there are only 2 hands that beat a 19, so there you go. So that was better than we anticipated. I really hate these like mid-teen numbers. Those are the worst numbers to draw into. I gotta admit, the 17 on the dealer side was a good thing for us. I think I just got an email. I got an email from something. I don't know what happened. I got an email there, so let's see. There's that. That happened. Had the 19, and we stood on that. And the 17 wanted to get a harder number, and the 16 wanted to get a harder number too. So didn't go so well on the 16, on the 17 and the 18, but we got something out of it, so it was a good deal. And for the 14s, I think it was pushing. That really should have busted me, but I felt pretty good about it. 2 17s against, I think it was a 19 or something. Should be back up to date. I was playing on my phone, so there were a lot of random notifications here, so I apologize for the mild jumps in the video. And then we were on the 20 there, flipped over to an 18, and that was just how that ended up. So there's that. And I'm trying to remember what else we ended up doing on a lot of this here. It was I always struggle with the soft numbers because sometimes you want to double, sometimes you just want to hit to get something stronger, and other times you just want to hold on to it. It's probably some of the roughest hands. Usually you want to hit to make something stronger, something a bit more solid, but for the lower numbers like 14 and 15, or like a 5 versus a soft 14 or a soft 15, that's usually when you want to double. So then you have a higher probability of getting something strong, and they have a higher probability of busting, and that's what you want to do. Ooh, losing my breath here. Need some more. Need something else to drink. And this one, I think I was supposed to hit, but I made the mistake of standing, and that probably cost me part of the game. Okay. And then the 8s, you always want to split no matter what strategy you're using. Always split the 8s. There's actually something really funny in that movie 21. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that. This one with Kevin Spacey and then a bunch of young guys in it. But no, there's this part where one of the girls on the blackjack team says that splitting 8s is a sucker bet, and that is literally the most basic rule that you always learn, is you always split 8s. And I never really got that line in the movie. I think they were just trying to keep it super fantasy or make it seem like they were doing something super crazy with the deviation from basic strategy based on the count, but I don't know, it just didn't make any sense to me. I'm sure there probably is some obscure strategy out there where you don't want to split the 8s depending on the count, but I've never seen it. See, and that was a rough one. So I think I doubled. I started chasing losses, which was a bad idea here. You never want to chase your losses. You just want to kind of play through and see how you do. And I think I hit again to get something stronger, and hit again, but there was nothing else for me to do there. And then I just busted all 3. So this was a time to clear the bet. Oh no, I guess I bet again. Why did I bet again? And then I doubled. I wanted to see if I could get that. But it worked pretty well. So I actually ended up making back up whatever I lost. So, and then I dropped back down. See, normally I just would have dropped down a little bit there, but obviously I would have lost, so it didn't really matter. And then here's where we're going into a bit more of an upswing there. But that's why I always say play the game until the bitter end, because you never know what's going to happen. All right, and this next hand, I wonder what we do on this next hand over here. So I think we just bet again, and then I got the 16 stayed on that. It was a pretty solid hand, and it was kind of a wash, so we just kept going forward with it. And we stuck on the 15, stuck on the 14, and then doubled there just to see what would happen, but it was an 11, but thankfully they didn't get the 10 on the 11. I feel like this game always gets the 10s on the 11s. Like, I'll sit here with 19s and 20s, and I'll be ready for it. So then, it'll be like 7, 7, and 7, and, I pick up the phone and throw it across the room. I'm like, are you kidding me? But it's just the nature of the game. That's the way it happens. It's, probability. Not always high probability, not always low probability, just probability. Oh, speaking of probability, too, that reminds me. So I wasn't sure about what the probability of this was, but actually the Lucky Dragon Casino might live to see another day. I heard it got auctioned the other day. I'm trying to read up on it right now, but as it turns out, it was auctioned, and there was not a single... I don't think there was a single bid on it. So it's I know it closed up already, but yeah, there were no takers there, and I don't really understand why nobody wanted to buy the property. I think in theory the Lucky Dragon Casino is an amazing idea. Resorts World is capitalizing on the exact same idea of catering to a catering to an Asian theme and all Asian gamblers too. Well, not necessarily all Asian gamblers, but they're definitely going with a Chinese theme. They even have their own panda exhibit that they're gonna have there too, which I thought was a little bizarre to have in the middle of the desert. But hey, what you gonna do? But they decided to go ahead and get down on that. And I gotta close this advertisement over here. I really hate the ads on this. And then here they go again. So at this point here, where'd we go? Yeah, we went back to the, yeah, this was a rough hand. I did get a little bonus though from the bold play when you do doubles, and then when you do splits and things like that, you fill up the bold play meter, and that actually really helps keep your chip count up too. No matter what you're doing, as long as you're keeping that chip count up over there, you're still winning, because as long as you have chips, you can still play, and as long as you can still play, you're still getting loyalty points. So that's the most important thing behind the game here. I think it started at 771,000. We're up to 773. I think we're only like how far into the video are we? I think we're about 10 minutes in. So at this rate, probably could have kept on going and gotten 12,000 an hour, just depending on how things were going. I did take some small breaks to look at things and check check emails and all that type of stuff too. So you can actually kind of play this offhandedly through the day and get tens and thousands of loyalty points here. It's really easy to do, and I thoroughly enjoy blackjack, so that's why I like playing this one. It actually is fun. And now the move I did over there with the 16, I actually decided to stand on it because I did read, I know it's more of a counting thing, but if it's 3 cards or more with a 16, it's usually, depending on the count, it's actually safer to stand on the 16, even if it is against a 10. It only seems to go against 10s, doesn't seem to go against 9s or 8s for some reason, which I figure logically would work, but I don't know. I don't know the full mathematical formula behind it. Alright, we're up to 3 million chips already, guys, and then we are facing off against an ace, just doing 10,000 a piece over here. That was a rough hand, I remember, but we did get a push, so we at least saved 10,000. Got a blackjack on that. Been getting some pretty killer blackjacks. I think over the course of me playing the Luxor, I've gotten nearly 1,000 blackjacks. Yeah, at this point, I think it had 991. Those 9s didn't go well, and I stand on the 17 here, so that brings us back to the 26, and we won that one. Yes, Little John, we do that. That is my on-call phone for work. We have Lil John there just in case we have an issue at work there. So I gotta check that page real quick, but it doesn't look like it looks like it's a standard notification email, so we're okay. All right, doubling that 9 and then standing on that 13, but I hate to, but they bust on that 6 because that's at 16, and the dealer has to deal with that. If I could get the dealer to get 16s all day during blackjack, I'd be a very rich man, I think, at this point, but I can't. Now, the 13, I think I was actually supposed to hit against a 2, and I actually probably would have won if that had happened, so that was a mistake I made there. So just so you guys know, I make some bad plays, too. I probably made some other bad plays and just haven't pointed them out yet. Won a pretty big hand over there, so I think I cleared the bets and dropped back down over here. Back down to the 10,000. And I'll just minimize any coming losses because you know losses are coming, you know gains are coming. And you just want to make sure you can play as long as possible. And it's really hard to play for a very long time when you're betting, over 20% of your bankroll every single time. So if you do win a big hand, drop it back down. And then I noticed the smaller your hands seem to be, the more frequently you seem to win. So when you mix up the game and vary your bet, that's when you get more wins. Yeah, that was a tough hand, but we pulled it out, got the mummy card. I was really excited at this point here because I had 197 cards, so I was really just kind of playing for the cards, and I think I actually did end up making a bad play or two just because I wanted the cards, because I figured, yeah, I could make a good play and get 100 loyalty points, or I could get all the cards and get 3,000 loyalty points all in one swing, which would mean that I did more and I did it faster too. All right, see, that was what I was talking about, 19s, and then I push on the 22. That's the only thing I don't like about free bet is you still lose on 20. Well, you don't lose, but you push on the 22s, and it's just, you know, it's always annoying to see that. You're like, no, that should have been my hand, but it doesn't really matter in the long run, especially since I feel like mathematically it makes more sense still to just get the free bets. I don't know. I have to find a calculator if I'll find an algorithm for that. And then we got the last Great Pyramid. That blew up. And then, boom, that was another 3,000 loyalty points right there. So, I think I'm just shy of 800,000 right now. Last I checked, I haven't played for a couple of days since I've been working on the giveaway videos and doing the editing and all that good type of stuff. So, you know, sometimes my MyVegas time gets taken away by editing and other research and other writing and that sort of stuff too. So, all right, we split the fours, and then we tried to. I think I was supposed to double on that, and I did. I know you were supposed to stand on the 12. It was kind of a misclick, but I'm kind of well, actually, I'm kind of mad I did that, so, because otherwise I would have been 15, and that would have been a 17, so I probably would have won that hand, but, you know, misclicks happen, misclicks are real, misplays are real, but at the end of the day, as long as you're playing well enough, doesn't really matter. I think in a real casino, though, I probably would have been wiped out by now, honestly. So I think I started this game, I started the day at 500,000, I started this particular session at 1.5 million because I was up a million, and I feel like when I ended this session I probably still ended 200,000 up, which is fine. And the more important thing is I had more loyalty points than I started with, so I think that's a big thing. People do worry about the chips on this game quite a bit, and I don't think you should worry about the chips done too much. I really feel like you should worry more about the loyalty points. Here it is. So I found the article on Lucky Dragon here. And I think, yeah, because we're talking about, yeah, they think it has a bright future and hands with the right operator, yada, yada, yada. And they actually put it up for the foreclosure auction pretty recently. I think it was October 30th it went up for the foreclosure option. The Landa Group still owes like, or is still looking for like 50 million on it. I'm trying to remember exactly who owns it. It's so complicated trying to figure out which person and what part of the group owns what, and you know, it's always a thing with these casinos, especially these mega conglomerate casinos or these joint ventures and all that. And they had a lot of investors that were promised citizenship. I understand. I know there's a certain type of investing you can do where you can actually get citizenship if you invest in an American venture so long. Overseas. I can't remember if it was in China or if it's in Japan or what have you, but all right. But this is one of our bigger swings, so I'm trying to remember exactly what it is. I think I might do a video on it one of these days. Is anyone interested in seeing what happened to the Lucky Dragon? I'm just generally curious what happened to the Lucky Dragon, so we'll look into that. But yeah, it looks like it did. Yeah, the foreclosure did not go well, so they got foreclosed and all that. But no one bid on the property after the 35 million, and I guess it just went back to the lender is what happened. So that was just that. So we may see a comeback of the Lucky Dragon Casino, and I would like to see if they could get a partnership going with MGM, because it really seems like an interesting place, and I'd like to participate. I'd like to be involved in going to the casino and checking it out. I never got a chance to, especially since it was up farther north on the Strip, and usually when I go that far north on the Strip, I'm going downtown anyway, or alternately I'll stop. I don't think I ever really go much farther north than Wynn typically. Wynn or Bellagio up there. I usually say Central Strip or South Strip just because that's where all the action is and where my players card is the best at. So but I might have to swing by there. Maybe next trip we'll go ahead and see about going over to Lucky Dragon if you guys want to check that out too. All right, back to the game. I think this is where the downslope started coming up. I got a little reckless. I got a little greedy, trying to move forward here, because I did want a few more chips, and I was up over 6 million. So I was feeling pretty comfortable, and I was watching the loyalty points go up, and I felt pretty good about that. Lost a couple hands here, and then just started doubling. And I shouldn't have doubled on that loss, because that was a bad hand, and I shouldn't have doubled there. And that was, yeah, I think I'm up with the 20 there. That was a rough one. And I doubled again, started chasing the losses, and that was a mistake. Not sure how far into the video we are. I feel like we're at least 20 minutes into the video. yeah, they had to stop us one more time. It was a bad loss, so I dropped back down to 10 million after I hit that ad. But you notice the loyalty points have still been going up steadily, up a good 6,000 already. I think a good 6,000, nearly 6,000, 5 or 6,000. I swear it was 771,000 loyalty points I started at, maybe with some change here. Now it's 777,000 loyalty points, with a little change there too. So, and I hate getting twos because you just got to go for it. And then there was the 9, had to double on that because it always says to double, but got the push there, lost out on some money. It was a tough time, but you know what you do. And he split the 3s. I feel like there were a couple times on this point where I wanted to split and I accidentally hit double on a couple of cards or something along those lines, and it just didn't go so well. So I don't know. That's what I get for playing on the phone instead of the PC. And then there was a 20, so that was a guaranteed push. I hate seeing all these 20s here. That's what I like about Shaq Jack, is that the dealer never really gets 20s. It really reduces the number of 20s because Shaq slaps away the 20s. I might play Shaq Jack with a strategy too. One of these days, a special strategy, see what happens. So I think he pushes on 22, but he never deals suited blackjacks or 20s, suited 20s. I know for sure. And I don't think it deals any 20s with the face-up 20. So that's important to keeping your margin high, which is why I like to kind of play the alternate rules too. I don't think I've ever seen a we'll split the 9s here. I don't think. Oh, see, that's what I was supposed to do. I was supposed to split the 9s and I forgot, and that's why I clicked there, because I was like, oh my god, I totally could have won that, but I didn't. That was my mistake. Those misplays. An 18 and a 20, so I should have won this hand, and I feel like I did win this hand. Okay. Started picking up some more cards over there. I really like picking up the cards and how quickly you can pick up extra loyalty points with the cards. And had to take a break here, I think. They're 22 minutes in. Yep, that was a 21 against 12s, and not the biggest loss. And I doubled here for some reason. Don't remember why I did. I think I thought I could win. Yeah, that was a push, and I think I doubled again. Or no, I just bet again. And then he hit again here, and I stopped it at 14, stopped it at 16, and split, because I really wanted to see if I could win there. And against the 3, you definitely want to hit on an 8, and there's so much going on. I'm not sure how you guys can follow these games here. I leave it on turbo, and then when I'm playing, it feels differently than when I'm watching these. So I'm not sure how easy it is to watch these over here. I really would like to. I probably should split this into 2 different videos, but knowing me, I probably won't. I'll just go ahead and put up a nice little marathon game. If it's something that you guys are interested in watching, I'll put it down as a Freebet Blackjack Marathon. Play till he busts. That'd be a fun thing to do. I think on stream. I'd love to do that on a stream. Like maybe get a Twitch or something like that and just stream. And we'll split the cards here, double that, and then hit again. And there's that. So bad, so bad. Such a rough hand, and I think that's when I dropped back down, because I lost 2 million chips at this point, or darn well near. So I was trying to go ahead and get into recovery mode and take it easy, see if I could pick up a few more loyalty points while I was on a downswing at least. And I do. I picked up another 185. I think it was at 3. Yeah, it looks like I am at a level 348 at this point, so still not quite there. Found a fact, yeah, the leveling doesn't really matter very much in this game, not proportionately speaking. So there's that. What else happened? What else happens here? Let's see. What else do we get? Yeah, it's just it's pretty standard play at this point. Pretty standard play, I think. Yeah, got hit with another blackjack, so I was getting a little frustrated. Had to drop my bet back down. I was finally making some money. I had to drop my bet back down. And this one I was pretty sure I was gonna win because I had split the 20s or the aces, and I figured that was an easy one. So I think at this point I decided to double since it was a full one. Now my doubling strategy is typically either if I've got nothing else to lose and I'm losing so bad, I'll just go ahead and double anyway. Or if I've won like a significant hand or at least a halfway decent hand, then I will just go ahead and double and see if I can keep the gravy train rolling. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work. So just depends on what the bankroll is looking like and all that. I think it's another reason I like playing on this over here, because it's a lot easier to determine than when you're playing blackjack at the tables in real life, because you always see a number and you always know how well you're doing compared to how well how many chips you have on the table. Because I feel like chips, they don't have a lot of meaning, so it's always hard for me to play. I always kind of prefer the video blackjack sometimes, because I always know how many credits I have in the machine. And I did get a little boon over here. I won 2 hands, lost 2 hands, but then I got a little something off the bold play meter, so that was another benefit there too. And I think that's something that people neglect, is the fact that you get the bold play meter and you get the level up bonuses. They're kind of like rebates. Like, I didn't know, I'm not sure if you guys know this, but depending on what level player you are, you can actually get rebates in the casino, like discounts on your losses there. I learned about that in a documentary I watched, the Secrets, Las Vegas Secrets of a Vegas Whale or something like that. It's about this guy called Don Johnson, and he actually took Tropicana and a couple other casinos in Atlantic City for a sum total of about $15 million, because he negotiated some pretty killer rebates there. Like, for every million he lost, he only had to pay $800,000. He was just like banging out these $800,000 hands and things like that. So he ended up walking away with like $6 million off the table at one night, and it was pretty killer. I don't know. I don't fully understand how he did, because obviously he counted. He had some pretty funky rules too, so he was like, intimidating the hell out of the dealers there, and I thought that was pretty dope. So there's something to consider there. Let's see, we got the 13s, we had to split that, and we stayed in the night, and I feel like I really hit this one over here, and I doubled on that, and had to stand on the 17, and that went about as well as I figured it would. So right now we're still on kind of a downswing, but we've been at it for nearly half an hour at this point, and we're still been up about 5,000 loyalty points. So again, we're on track to make 10,000 loyalty points in an hour. So you can actually easily make 10,000 loyalty points an hour doing this strategy over here, as depending on what position you're in. So now that I'm really talking too much about the strategy, it's really just, again, varying your bets, picking your, playing according to basic strategy. I prefer the free bet card, although the free bet card is a little more complicated just than the usual basic strategy card, because it has a separate set of cards for the free hand. You do different things on the free hand after you split compared to the paid hand. So your paid hand, you play a little more cautiously. Your free hand's your free hand, so it's like whatever. But you still play. Oh yeah, see, that was a boneheaded move. I just overbet on that one, and then I overbet again, and bust that hand. I stayed on that one. I think I doubled that to see if I could make something up, and that didn't go so well. But I did pick up 640, so I almost made up all my losses. And I doubled again. I have no idea why I doubled again. I just probably thought it was a cool idea, and I just about killed myself on this hand over here. So yeah, because they drew right into a 21. I'm like, yeah, I'm in a decent position. I saw the 16, and nah, right into a 21. Super painful. And I think I stayed up at the same level, and I just burned through. So I dropped back down to 1,000,000. Didn't do so well. And this is where the downswing starts going in, because I played recklessly. And that's where you probably should stop when you're starting to play recklessly. Take a break. But I was still just kind of on a roll. I felt like I was on a roll, and I felt like this was a normal downswing as well too. Like, I've seen people come in, they'll go up, like, they'll have like $5,000 in real life. They'll go down to like their last 200, and then they jump back up to 8,000 and things like that. And the thing about blackjack is it is a numbers game. It's gonna go up, it's gonna drop back down, it's gonna go left, it's gonna go right. That's just how blackjack works. So make of that what you will. All this incessant babbling of mine, I really wish I would have recorded because the music's actually kind of nice. So, all right. And then I think we started going into the next setup over here. And it was all teens. I really hate seeing teens on my opening hands here, because that means I'm either at a suboptimal strong hand or a really bad weak hand. So, all right, we go into the next one. I think I just stayed with the same bet. I think I stayed at 20,000. I had to think about it for a second here. So here I am thinking, and I was probably reading about Lucky Dragon as well too. I just have an obsession with that casino. So I've always wanted. I know I really like. I keep touting the idea of a space themed casino. But the idea of an all Asian casino, like I really like the idea of like a Japanese casino. Like I could have like a traditional Japanese with the the Shinto. With the Shinto monuments and all that good type of stuff, and then I like the idea of having like a modern Tokyo-esque part of the casino too, where I could have all the updated stuff and a bunch of anime nonsense too. Like I want a model of the RX 78 -2 Gundam in the middle of my casino there, which also kind of fits into the space theme one I was talking about too. But I just love the idea. Again, that's the whole reason I love the Lucky Dragon, because it had so many opportunities to be this great Asian casino, and it was like an authentic Asian experience was how it was touted, and it just sounded so cool. But I guess it just didn't cater to the right people, and it didn't get like the exposure it wanted, and it just seemed so focused on the all Asian clientele, which is cool. But you gotta have something in a destination city like that. You either make it a touristy sort of thing. Unfortunately, you have to make it a touristy sort of thing, or you get ready to cater to the locals if it's not going to be quite as touristy. Which is another reason I don't really want to open a casino here. Primarily because one, I don't have $3.4 billion to toss into a casino like I want, and then the other reason is I feel like out here in Colorado we're not really a gambling destination state. So it wouldn't work very well. So I'd have to make a local casino, and I don't really think I have what it takes to cater to a local casino with that kind of mega resort styling. You got to make it really worth it for locals to come out and come by. All right, so I had another big jump, came back up to 1.4 million. Decided to go ahead and drop it back down to 10K and get another draw going there. Split those nines. Yeah, double that, and that potentially could have been a huge hand if I had stuck with the same bet there, but we had that 17, so it was all good. Probably should have stuck with the same bet, but I feel like if I would have stuck with the same bet, I would have lost, so, Didn't increase the bet on that one for some reason, and then ended up with these low teens versus a 5, and ended up kind of losing there. Still won one physical hand, but as a whole, that was a loss, so we started splitting those 8s. I think I stayed on that one. I feel like a soft 19 you kind of want to hit, but at the same time you don't, and I'm glad I didn't, because I did actually win that hand, so I don't know. I didn't actually have my strategy card open. That was another mistake I made. So always have your strategy card open. I was just kind of playing it offhandedly. I was, come to think of it, I think I was editing the, what was I editing? I think I was editing one of the best slots in Vegas videos while I was doing this, and then also reading a couple articles too, so. But if nothing else, that's just kind of a testament of how good the game is, because you still have a reasonable chance if you have a general idea of what you're doing and play with basic strategy, you still have a reasonable chance of winning the game and getting somewhere and getting a few loyalty points. And then keep in mind, guys, too, you don't have to play at this absurd level. You don't have to bet like 320,000 every single time. I was trying to figure out what was there. I was like, I don't have enough chips. Do I have enough chips? I have enough chips. So you don't need to play at this absurd level, actually. If you're only at like level 20 or something like that, or level 50 or something, 1 or 2,000 is still actually gonna get you a good chunk of change on the loyalty meter. Like that'll get you about the same amount as betting 10,000 on mine does. Like you'll see mine goes up a bit over here on the left hand side. Like if I do like 10 or 20 bets like that gets me a good chunk of change in the loyalty meter. I factored it out that they're worth about 10 loyalty points for every swing there at 10,000, or for every set of hands at 10,000, and it just kind of goes up from there proportionately. And I know if you get to a certain point, like if you're hitting like 1 million and you're betting 1 million, it'll actually fill up the whole meter like twice, or depending on what level you are, 2 or 3 times in one swing too. So I actually had a guy comment pretty recently on yesterday's video about how he got a soft lock on his, because he got he actually earned 100,000 loyalty points in a single session playing his blackjack, and he's got over 200 million chips. So he's just swinging out there, and making the money, man. Only has to play like one hand a day, and then I think it locked him down. I know I always play these on the Amazon Appstore though. So when I play on the Amazon App Store and play it off of there, there doesn't seem to be like a lockdown on how many chips I can get a day, or how many coins I can get a day. So if you guys find that you're hitting the lock there, I'd probably go ahead and get the uninstall the app from your phone and then re-download it from Amazon and try that out. All right, we actually did pretty good here. We got back up to 2 million, and I thought I was doing just fine. I think at this point though, it was about 35 minutes in, and I was trying to push for the full hour, but I was getting a little tired of playing. I didn't want to keep playing for another, because I had a few more things to do really. So I got very tired and wanted to stop playing. So I started playing a little worse here, I noticed. I think towards the end I started making some pretty grandiose bets for no clear and discernible reason and just keep going. This is where I started losing a little bit more, just because the computer does get some pretty banging hands here for some reason. They actually pick up, they just draw into 18s, 19s, 20s like nobody's business, and quite a few 21s. I felt like Chevy Chase in National Lampoon's Vacation. Like, have you guys ever seen that movie where he's sitting at the blackjack table and the guy from Princess Bride, you know the guy with the poison, who's like, well, if you have the poison in this hand over here and you did it this hand, then it only makes sense that you do this. So I will drink that cup. Yeah, where he comes up, he's the blackjack dealer, and I think that's honestly the best part of the movie is the fact that he's the blackjack dealer, and he shows up anytime Chevy Chase is on the blackjack table and just cleans him out. Like, poor Chevy Chase is picking up like 19s, 20s, and he's like 21, oh, player busts, that's so sad. Oh yeah, I think I was on an upswing here. I turned it into an upswing somehow. And you'll just see that there's so many swings that you can get on this game over here. It goes up, down, left, right, B, A, select, start, just so often. And we had some pretty strong cards here, and I actually got a pretty good hand, and we're just doing really, really good at this point in the game here. A lot of strong hands, just stand on those, never want to hit on any of those cards. Then we gotta push, and I feel like this is the point where it got worse. Yes, because then I got soft 14. I hate soft 14. Soft 19 is okay. Doubled on that. And then the 13, I think I had to hit. We busted that. And unfortunately, in this game, we'll close that affordable mood. Yeah, unfortunately, the player doesn't get the same free bet push on the 22. I wonder how that would change the payout percentage there. I know I still gotta find the proper calculator. I don't fully understand which formulas you'd really use to determine how good a blackjack game is numerically speaking. So I've been working on that. That's actually something I'm kind of curious about. Let's see. Got a couple 20s there. That was pretty good. So we started making a little bit of a comeback there too. Still at about 2.8 million. Doubled it. Wanted to go ahead and go a little harder with it. See what we can do. And doubled that one too. And then got some pretty good hands here. Actually, I think I pushed one more. No, I didn't push. And no, that was the 20. So the couple 19s were great. I really hate seeing a 19 though, because anytime I get a 19, the dealers always got a 20, and they love to just bust me up with that 20. So I don't know. And then there's that soft 14 again. We turned that into a 21, and then the 12 turned into a 22. But that was a pretty good hand. And we actually made a little something back on that there, so we actually ended up doing a bit of a comeback. Made up some of the big losses that we made earlier. So I think this is the point where I kind of stopped paying attention to the chips, and just started kind of playing, which is a little bit of a mistake on my part, and I'm going to explain why. Because the thing about the chips is, no matter which game you're playing, you always want to make sure that you have, like, whatever you have on the table, you want to make sure that you have 2 or 3 times in reserve to go ahead and cover things like doubles, splits, and increases in bets too. So then let's say, for example, you get 3 10s in a row and you want to double all of them. If you don't have the chips for it, you'll just have to hit. And then if you get those 10s into 20s, that's great, but you could have won twice as much and quadrupled your money on the table instead of just doubled it. So, you know what I mean? Something to keep in mind. All right, we want to split these 8s over here. Thankfully, it's free bet, so it's not as big a deal. And I think that really helps out with players with lower chip pools, because you can still make some pretty optimal plays without sacrificing quite as many of your precious chips, so you can continue playing longer. I think that's why this is my favorite rule set for MyVegas Blackjack. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoy Shaq Jack too quite a bit, just because, you know, Shaq, he has his little smart alecky little like, take that, dealer, and, you know, he'll like smack down on the table. He's like, bye now, we ain't got no 20s for you, dealer, all that. So, and he'll get upset with you when you bust and all that. I wonder what Shaq's like in real life to go gamble with. I know Rodman used to play at Hollywood, but you know, that's Rodman. I'm not sure if Shaq actually plays. He's got his hands in so many things now. Like he's got the general car insurance, Icy Hot. He's doing Play Studios over here with the MyVegas. I think he's opening his like a set of movie theaters or something absurd like that too. Like, I don't know. We interrupt Shaquille O'Neal to bring you Magic Johnson. Is how I feel, you know. Like, well, all right, we got Magic Johnson 2.0. Which is also something I was gonna wonder about. Does anyone know if he's still alive? I feel like he's still. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna check in my other window over here to see if Magic Johnson is still alive. He is still alive. Wow. Because he's 60. He's 60. I'm just kind of surprised at this point here. So, all right. He's not even that old. 60 is not old. So, you know. I think we have a few viewers in that kind of age category. I'm not gonna call anybody out, obviously, and I'm not entirely sure who's how old and whatnot. But I think we get a fair amount of viewers that are in the 54 to 64 age group category, according to the analytics, which I think is pretty cool too. I'm glad everybody gets to have fun with the channel here. I think we have viewers from like 21 up past 64, 65, which I think is really cool too. So everyone, you know, there's a big community that plays the game and a big community that enjoys the game, and that's always really good to see. Okay, so this is a ginormous hand over here that I was really hyped about winning, and then boom, they get a 20. I was livid. I'm like, what? This should have tripled my money, but you know. And of course, I made the mistake of hitting double instead of clear, but I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's see how we do. Excuse me. And then I think I busted like 2 hands, and then yeah, went into a push on this one. And this is the point where I really kind of shot myself in the foot here, because we're nearly 45 minutes in. I think we're about 42, 43 minutes in, and I was getting a little tired, so I thought I'd go ahead and see if I could bust the whole rest of the way and just played a little more recklessly. So I won this one, ended up going in, I think I went in about the same. Yeah, it looks like I went in about the same, doubled on this one here. And then I think I tried to go a little harder on the next go around. Like, I feel like I doubled. No, I didn't double. Huh, that's weird. Doubled on that. I guess I doubled on everything else, and then split all this just to see if we can make as many winning hands as possible. Moved out as many small cards as we could so the dealer would bust. Unfortunately, soft 18 is not something that you have to stand on. So that's how that works for the dealer. And then we started. Then this is when we started getting better hands, and I got a little mad because I'm like, oh, I'm kind of done playing, but I didn't play to the bitter end. And this is why I keep telling you guys you got to play to the bitter end, because you never know when you're gonna have an upswing back like this. So I was starting to come back from 200,000, and we started doing the doubles, and started finally making a couple chips back here. I probably should have hit on that soft 18. It would have ended up about the same. Still ended up being a push, but we still kind of washed on that. Then I doubled up and wanted to clear out some chips, and then here's the point where it started getting a little better for me. And then I feel like I was going to hit on that 16, and I thought it was going to be a 19 that came down, but still ends up being a wash. I tried to double, didn't have the funds for it, so just hit again. Just wanted to see what would happen, and then hit on that one too, and that turned into a push. So I think there was a point where I actually cleared all the bets and went max bet here. It's coming up pretty soon. Yeah, because I lost this hand miserably. Yeah, I cleared it, and this hit bet max. Or no, did I just do 10,000? I did just do 10,000 apiece. And I won this hand, sort of, because I got a blackjack on it. And I think we just bet again. Yeah, we just bet again, because I wanted to make sure I had some in reserve for doubles and splits if need be. And this is where the upswing comes back in too. So again, I'm upswinging and I'm making more loyalty points here. Got the 18, got that 20, and then there's another push, but I got another blackjack, so I was making loyalty points back up. Increased my bet again, decided to stand again, made some money with the blackjack there. I got over 1,000 blackjacks the whole time I played on Luxor, and it's insane. I think I just kind of maxed out the bet here. Wanted to double that out, see what happens. Made an all or nothing and won the hand. So I'm already back up to 300,000 from the 20,000 I was sitting at like 2 seconds ago. And it just goes to show you like how quickly things can change in this game. It's all a numbers game. It's all probability. See, it's such a low probability, but I still got to the 19 and 2 19s back to back, and I actually ended up winning that one there, which brought us back up past 300,000 and almost on top of a big loyalty point jump too. And I think this is about where I decided to go ahead and call it good. Yep, because I did another big one there. And I might have just tried to bet as much as I can just to go ahead and end the game here, because I wanted to end on one more big thing of loyalty points and then call it good from there. And as soon as I did that, boom, that's when I won more. Came back up to 700,000. I think if I would have kept playing, I would have gotten back up to 1.5 million pretty easy, just the way things were going. But this is the point where I end the session and decided to go ahead and call it good. So hopefully that helped you guys. Helped you guys with your training there. And on that bombshell, Ace of Vegas is signing out, and happy spinning, you guys.